So I don't know if you've been following Mac's Public House in Grant City, Staten Island, but two guys own this bar, and they have been shut down. They've tried to do everything they can. They're going to lose their bar if they have to shut down again. So they decided that they weren't going to shut down. We're not closing it. Well, then the liquor license was revoked. And so they said, you know what? We're declaring ourselves an autonomous free zone. It worked in Seattle. Why not here? And we're not going to charge for alcohol or food. Well, it was against the law to serve alcohol if you don't have a license, blah, blah, blah. So I think it was last night or the night before last, the cops were waiting for the owners. And Danny Presti walks out. He's one of the owners. He walks out. Cops are there. He runs from the cops, gets into his car. One of the cops, like Beretta, jumps on the hood of his car and goes for a couple of blocks before they stop him and they do arrest him. He's out on bail, or he's out of jail without bail, and he's with his an attorney here, and we're going to talk to him in just a second. First, I want to play what de Blasio said about Danny. Here it is.
But let's be clear. The most important thing is what this guy did, and it was absolutely unacceptable. I'm sure this is a guy who would say he's all in favor of law and order. He's making a big deal about what's happened with his bar. Well, guess what? Law and order means when the state of New York says your bar needs to be closed, your bar needs to be closed to protect people's health and safety. No excuses. And when you violate the law, there will be consequences. And then if you take an action against a law enforcement officer, there will be even more consequences. So this guy is a hypocrite, and he's about to pay the price for his hypocrisy.
Boy, talk about a hypocrite. Bill de Blasio now standing up for the cops and against an autonomous free zone, which is weird. And let's take him at his word. Let's remember what this is all about. Somebody's business, which involves a hamburger and beer. Let's go now to Danny Presti, or is it Presti? The co-owner of Mac's Public House, and Louis Gelormino. Hello, Louis. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks for having us, Glenn. Always love your show.
Thank you.
The first thing I want to address is that they were not cops. They were not NYPD police officers. They were sheriff deputies. And it's in New York City, as it's probably different than down where you guys are throughout the country. In New York City, sheriff's deputies play a different role than NYPD. They're civil enforcement officers. My partner and I have been criminal defense attorneys for over 40 years. We have never dealt with the sheriff's department in a criminal manner. So we want to make it perfectly clear, the NYPD nor the New York State Troopers wanted anything to do with this. That's why they sent de Blasio's personal political hit force to handle this.
Well, I tell you, in Texas, sheriffs are the good guys, not the bad guys. So tell me what is happening, because I think there's a lot of people that feel, Danny, exactly like you did, where you guys are trying to keep your business open and you keep being told no, 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 and you don't have a choice other than to go to the poorhouse. Am I right?
Yeah, it's that's why this whole thing started in the beginning, was because we were left without any options, and it was to bring attention to what's going on to the businesses and how dire it is. And in the beginning, we just tried to bring attention to say, hey, let's try to bring as much noise as we can to try to get the mayor and the governor, and not just here but across the country, to understand that small businesses need assistance. All these big chain places are still thriving, and you're killing the small mom and pop places. And we either need assistance if we have to shut down, or you have to help us open in a safe manner. But just the shutdowns and ignoring us and pushing us to the side and killing our livelihoods just wasn't acceptable to us anymore.
This is what's happening in California as well, and people are starting to go rogue because they've got nothing left. You have nothing left, and nobody is offering any help. Did you expect this to get to this point? Did you expect to be seeing the inside of a jail?
I didn't know what to expect when we did it. Again, we just knew that something had to happen. So when Keith and I sat down, we decided to do something about it. Did I think that getting arrested 2 times in 1 week was going to happen at some point? No.
So, Lou, what's the plan from here? How are you going to fight this, and what do you think it means?
Well, we obviously on a legal level, we have 2 issues. We have the criminal case where we're representing Danny, but we also have the civil cases where the sheriffs gave over $50,000 in fines to Max Public House. I can assure you we'll take care of Danny's criminal cases, but as far as the civil cases go, that we're going to have to battle those. This is certainly something that was unexpected, but I want to assure your viewers what happened in California is interesting. They had a judge rule that they have to show their signs before they shut businesses down now. We started with lawsuits, Glenn. My partners and I brought 4 different lawsuits to open the restaurants, and we've been shut down by judges in New York City on each time because obviously they're appointed by de Blasio and Cuomo. We would love to have a ruling like that happened in California. Unfortunately, it seems like going the legal route hasn't been working either. We will continue to do that in the appeal process, but sadly, the small business owners on Staten Island through the rest of the country can't open and still can't open, and they still can't put food on their table. So it's a sad situation, and I applaud Danny and his partner Keith for leading the charge and staying open. Unfortunately, it's ended up in these ridiculous criminal charges.
So I know you guys are doing a GoFundMe. It's Max Fights for Small Businesses. You are trying to raise $500,000. You're currently at about $100,000. And you say that anything that you're not using, you're gonna apply that to fight for other small businesses. Is there some sort of an association, or is there any group of small businesses that are starting to band together and say, we've got to fight this as one because we're all too small?
Well, we started the small business on Staten Island started a business association a while ago. That's who we brought the lawsuits on behalf of. We will continue to bring those lawsuits on their behalf. And I believe there are a lot of people throughout the country starting to form these coalitions so they can have a strong voice into these ridiculous orders by the governors and mayors of these liberal cities. You know, Glenn, it's sad. The virus doesn't know the difference between a red state and a blue state, but it seems that the blue states can't stay open. Their small businesses are shut down, yet the red states are able to stay open and keep their businesses open. It's absolutely ridiculous. And it's sad that even the COVID virus has become a political animal.
So I have to ask you this, because I'm strong with law enforcement that stands with the Constitution, and usually that is sheriffs, et cetera, and I preach against the people like all the people that de Blasio has supported and all people like him that go out in the streets and they commit all kinds of crimes. The Black Lives Matter has been responsible now for 6,000 injuries with police. So I just have to ask about the sheriff that was on the roof or on the hood of your car. He did break his collarbone, or he broke one bone. Not true?
Absolutely not true. We have 100% confirmation. That was the sheriff's department trying to change the narrative so the support would leave Danny. Where I have 100% confirmation that same sheriff's deputy that they claim was injured was in the sheriff's office for over 4 hours processing the arrest. He did not go to the hospital till after 5 hours after the incident, claiming some injuries. He did not break his legs. He did not break his collarbone. He broke absolutely nothing. We have 100% confirmation on that.
Unbelievable. All right. Thank you, guys. Best of luck to you. Yeah, go ahead, Lou.
If I may say something, and I speak on behalf of Danny on this and all the people involved with Max's Public House and my partners, We completely stand with law enforcement, the NYPD, the state troopers. I have many friends and family. My two best friends that I'm around every single day are NYPD detectives. We love those guys. They've been nothing great and supportive from the beginning. The sheriff's deputies play a lot different role in New York City than they do in Texas and the rest of the country. And even through all this, we still wouldn't want to be disrespectful to them, even though they've acted like thugs for the Mayor de Blasio. We still haven't been disrespectful to them. We've been cooperative and respectful the whole entire time. Danny had no idea. If you look at the video, Danny had no idea they were sheriff's deputies. They were dressed in complete black outfits.
Right.
They came up from behind them and yelled Presti and started chasing them from 50 yards away. And any reasonable person would act in the way that Danny reacted.
Thank you so much. We'll keep track of your fight and your plight. We wish you the best. If you would like to donate and help out, this is becoming more and more of a problem. And we as small businesses, and I say that as an owner of a small business, a couple of small businesses, we have to stand together and help each other out. You can go to GoFundMe. It's Max Fights for Small Businesses. You'll find that at GoFundMe. Thank you very much, guys.